Hey everyone, I'm Johan and this is Orson and you're watching Go Ahead and Make Me. And he's off to make something, I know what.
Go ahead and make me.
So this is part 2 of Fun with Hexagons. And in part 1 I showed you the very basics of working with hexagons. I had a few comments saying that I didn't show enough of just how you're supposed to work with hexagons, and it wasn't my intention to make a tutorial. It was more to give you an idea of what the things you can do with hexagons and to show you the basics. My sister pointed out that I didn't say that you're supposed to take out the paper pieces after you've sewn them, but I thought it was sort of obvious that you had to, but maybe she's got a point. I mean, if you do want to know exactly how to make hexagons the proper way, yeah, there's so many tutorials out there. You can have a look at them. In the meantime, I can show you some more things that you can make with hexagons and give you some ideas of what you can do, and you know, stimulate you to come up with your own stuff, because that's basically what I want to do here. It's not so much to show you how to do things, but more to make you, you know, think of your own things and to be creative that way. Last time I also used the term fuzzy cutting, and people didn't really know what that meant, or at least some of you didn't. Fuzzy cutting just basically means to cut out a specific part of a printed pattern on a fabric, like I did here. I went out of my way to make sure that the cat was inside the hexagon shape, and that's basically fuzzy cutting. This is another example of fuzzy cutting, except here it's an abstract, more abstract pattern, and I just cut out 6 of the same triangles here and attach them to each other, and then you create this whole new pattern. And also, as you can see, 6 triangles make up a hexagon. So that's the other interesting thing about hexagons, is that they're made up of different shapes that you can then combine in different new ways and still come up with a hexagon. So that's really interesting too. This is another hexagon made out of 3 diamonds, as you can see. So that's yet another way of creating a hexagon. Last time I showed you how to work with the paper pieces of hexagons. An alternative is to use these. These are these plastic shapes that you can buy, usually in a pack of 3 or 4 different sizes, like this. This is the outer shape of a hexagon with the seam allowance as well, and this is just the shape itself, for instance. You can use them in different ways. They're especially handy when you want to sew your hexagons on a machine, because you can just use your rotary cutter and go around the shape and just cut out the pieces that way, and then sew them on the machine. Yeah, they're very handy because of the seam allowance that's already built in. Yeah, they speed up the work a little bit. Another way to work with hexagons are these. Did you know that in nature there's actually a lot of hexagons going on? For instance, well, the one we probably all know is honeycomb, of course, that the bees make. That's hexagons. Hexagons can be found in bubbles even. There's some places on Earth where there's natural rock formations and they're in the shape of hexagons. I don't know exactly why, I'd never looked it up, but I know they exist. Hexagons appear in snowflakes, even on the back of turtles. You've probably seen that. The one that I didn't know and that I found really interesting is that the North Pole of Saturn, you know, that's the planet with the rings, the North Pole is hexagon shaped. I had no idea. That's so interesting. Yeah, I'm not, again, I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, that's the way it is. There's even hexagons in my own hallway. Now these are yet different ones again, because as you can see, they are two-sided, because it has another fabric at the edge of the hexagon. To make that, it's a bit finicky, I must confess, but I really like the end result, especially if you combine them all together. I really like the effect of that. So if you would sew them all together, you get these edges around your hexagons that I really enjoy. I'll show you how to do that. To make the two-sided hexagon with the edge of one of the fabrics showing on the other, you make two different sized hexagons. Doesn't really matter exactly how big they are, as long as one of them is bigger than the other and you have at least a centimeter of difference between them. Otherwise it gets too finicky and you just won't be able to do it. So I made this because I didn't have quite the right size in plastic, either in plastic or in paper. So I just made one myself. That's the one I wanted. And then I used this one for the inner hexagon. As you can see, it fits. So what I ended up with is this I'm going to use for the back and the lining. And this will be the main color, the main fabric. So you just put the smaller one on top of the bigger one, and you have the non-pattern sides facing. Then you attach them with some fabric glue, just a little bit, because you only need to keep it in place. Just make sure that the edges are the same size on each of the edges. See, it's 1 centimeter all around, as you can see. You can even use a little mini iron, like so. Then what you do then is you you fold the edge, this edge, you fold it to the top of the smaller hexagon, like so. As I said, it is a little bit finicky, I'll admit that, but the results can be quite nice. Now I don't have much nails, so just push it down with your fingers, or again just use something that you can create that fold. That's your first fold. Then you fold it again in on itself. So, like so. And with the help of this thingy, because again I don't have nails to make an edge. It is also handy to have clips holding this down, which I don't at the moment, so that wasn't very smart of me. Yeah, it'll stay down like so. That's your first edge. Now the idea is to sew this down and then go to the next one, the next one, next one, and then you end up with these. And I'll show you how to sew it, because it's a bit tricky. but it's totally doable, so I'll show you. So I've taken a very thin needle. It's very small, very thin. Yeah, I just enter it behind the smaller hexagon and go through both fabrics. I put a knot in the end of the thread, so it will sit there. Then what you will do is, at the very edge of the black fabric, you go right under it, but only like the tiniest bit under it, and go through to make your next stitch go through like so. Then you do this again. You go right underneath the edge of the black fabric and you go up again here. And because we're using black thread, it'll be virtually invisible. I mean, you see the stitching now because we're doing an extreme close-up, but in the finished product you won't be able to see the stitching. And that's how you attach the back, the second fabric, to the first one. And they go down the entire length. Now here's a good example of one that I made earlier. Yeah, as long as you coordinate the color of your thread to the outer color, if you look really close you'll see the stitching. So you'll probably see it now. But yeah, but then like this, there's no way you can see the stitching, and that's really what we're going for. So when you've made some of those, you can attach them just like the other hexagons that we attached to each other last time. And then once you've attached them to each other, you can basically do anything with them that you like. You can, because that's the thing about hexagons, is when you attach them to each other, you can basically use it as if it were a fabric, and it's a fabric that you created yourself. And so I'll show you some examples of that. Oh, here it is. I created this elephant, and you might not be able to tell right away, but it's completely made out of hexagons. I'll show you a bit closer. See, it's all just hexagons, and that's because once you attach hexagons to each other, you can just use it as a fabric. Yeah, I really like the result on this one. It's a lot of fun. Something else that I made is this. Again, made of hexagons, sort of a 3D thing. And if it were Christmas, yeah, you could make this out of Christmas fabrics, I suppose, and then have a Christmas bauble. This, however, is what I put inside is one of those little sachets with scents in them that you would normally put between your clothes or in your cupboards to keep your clothes smelling fresh. And you can just hang this in inside your wardrobe or in your cupboard. And of course, again, great gift, handmade gift. People love handmade gifts. And this doesn't take a long time to make, as you can imagine. I basically just made these flower shapes. I think they call them grandmother's flowers. When you have 6 hexagons surrounding one hexagon, that's because it's in the shape of a flower. So I just made 2 of those and then connected them with these rectangle pieces in between. Yeah, it's maybe an evening's work, and you've got a lovely gift for someone, or for yourself, of course. Then the next thing I made is this. It's a clock, as you can see. It's an actual bona fide clock. It's a bit busy, I'll admit that, but it's great for a children's room or whatever. And they're all hexagons, as you can see. They're all cats cut out of fabric and stitched together, and then I put them on a clock. You can actually buy these clock kits in craft stores. They're not expensive. You actually just buy the mechanism, and you just put a battery in them. And of course you have to make the actual clock yourself, and you can make it any shape that you can imagine. I just made a normal round clock, but as you can see, it's covered in hexagon cats. So that's quite original. Again, not a project that takes forever. And also, great gift. So, you know, next time you've got someone's birthday coming up, maybe something like this. The last thing I wanted to show you is this bag. It's a messenger bag. Most of the material is denim, and it just has a Velcro flap like that. And these are all hexagons. They're fussy cut. Here's that word again. They're fussy cut bears, as you can see. They're polar bears. I had this fabric lying around forever, not really knowing what to do with it, because I just bought it because I liked it. As you probably know, that phenomenon of buying fabric just because you like the way it looked, not really knowing what to do with it. But then, you know, there comes a time when you think, oh, that's a good idea. I'll make that out of it. So that was the case with this. The denim wasn't very expensive. It's just, I think maybe this is even raw denim. I'm not quite sure. It's a very simple bag, but yeah, you can wear it like so. You know, I like these type of bags. They're always very handy for me, and I like them across my shoulder, because then if you hang it on one shoulder, it tends to become annoying at some point. Yeah, so again, hexagons, you can use them as fabric. You can do whatever you want with hexagons. They're great. I love hexagons. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you, or share with you, I suppose, is I bought this. I just ran into it. It's a crochet kit, and you can make a teddy bear. And as you know, I'm a teddy bear maker. I've never crocheted a bear though, and I've been wanting for a while to improve my, well, improve is a big word in this sense, because I don't think I know how to crochet, but only just the basics. It says this is easy to follow. It says it's for beginners, so I should be able to do this, right? I'll show you next time if I have indeed been able to do it. It was half price, that's why I bought it. I'm a cheapskate that way. Yeah, a crochet kit. I'm not endorsing this product. I'm not being paid by them. I just wanted to show you, and yeah, I'll let you know next time how I went. All right. Well, thanks very much for watching again. Next time we'll do something else. No hexagons this time. I might have another pattern for you next time again to download. Hope you'll be watching me then. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.